Nice or mean, they're both bad. They both manipulate, nice and mean. You need truth.
Jordan's Messyges.
Sponsored by Squarespace.
We have no whiteboard. We do, it's just stowed away hidden because we don't have a marker. And you know what, Josh? A whiteboard without a marker is like a problem without a message. So you know what? We just tossed it aside. There's no whiteboard today, but there is a problem, and I will be the pen to your whiteboard to answer your message. That was confusing. Let's get to the messages. This is a person responding to a question that I had already answered, and they are giving me a life update.
Yes.
Is that what you were saying?
This is a previous message person.
Okay, and we're gonna get an update, so here we go. Dear Jordan, I'm the girl with the stepbrother. I don't know if you'll remember, but a few years ago I wrote a message about my stepbrother and I going off to school and sort of liking each other. I do remember this. You pretty much gave me your blessing to marry him and not care about what all my friends think. I stand by this. I ended up telling him and asked him out last year, and we've been dating ever since. The problem is this legal?
That was what you asked back then.
Well, we still don't have answers. It wasn't legal to go out in public during COVID. It wasn't legal to have Thanksgiving with your family.
Lots of things were illegal.
The problem is, we didn't tell our parents at first. My mom told me that I should just move into the apartment with my stepbrother. That way we could all save money by just paying for one apartment instead of two. I kind of panicked because I knew that would be a terrible idea and told her I couldn't live in the same apartment with him, which she didn't understand since we're family and we get along so well. I just knew it would be wrong to go along with it. So I ended up telling her that he's my boyfriend. Oh right, she didn't know. I just put this together. And everything blew up. She got so mad at me for not telling the family before and that I would be so inconsiderate for not thinking how this would affect the family. On the other hand, my stepfather seems to be completely okay with it and is actually happy for us, which makes it even worse at home. Because now my mom is fighting with him too, which is unfair. I just don't know what to do because I love my mom, but I don't want this to become something that tears us apart. My stepbrother and I didn't grow up in the same house, and we've been living apart for the past 2.5 years. We're adults now, and he's someone I think I could have a future with. If our parents had met now and gotten married while we were in college, no one would have a problem with us being together, so I don't understand why my mom is having such a hard time. There was no question in this, but it's a great update, Josh. I can't say this is a message as much as it's a proclamation of what the advice that I gave has led her down. Look, oftentimes when you do the right thing, all hell breaks loose. Does that mean that you're doing the wrong thing because people have a reaction to the right thing that you're doing? No! It means that you are, think of Jesus, Josh. Jesus had to go to the Pharisees and was like, look guys, you're doing it all wrong, okay? And they're like, no, the Bible said that we're doing the right thing. And he said, guys, I am the Bible, okay? And I'm saying that you're doing it all wrong, okay? And you know what? Jesus gained confidence from the dissing. You need to gain confidence from the dissing of your mother. I mean, you're so respectful that you didn't even move in with the guy and you were like, look, okay, I
can't move in with my brother. It would be inappropriate. Look, she's really trying to paint within the lines while also completely disregarding all barriers.
That is the beauty of the situation. It's amazing. It should be a book. Or a movie. It should be a movie. People don't read books.
This is a good movie.
It is a great movie, actually. And I'm not gonna film it.
It's called Step by Step.
That was a TV show.
Yeah.
Was that the point?
No, but it's like stepbrother, stepsister, step by step.
You're right.
The two steps.
Step by step. Maybe you didn't want to tell your mom for good reason because you knew this was gonna happen.
What does she do with her mom? Her mom is freaking out that she's dating her stepbrother.
Okay. How much influence does your mom have in your life right now? I mean, that's an honest question. Like, there's one thing if you're living in the house and this is going on, that is one thing. That is something to consider, to be quite honest with you, because that can be some serious abuse situation, like psychological warfare and permanent damage. Okay, but if you're in college and you've gone into all this debt to be at school, I mean, was that debt a cost that was worth it, Josh? Josh says no. He's shaking his head desperately no. Never back down, never quit. That's what I would say. I don't even think that you need advice. You just need a pep talk. Like just
a step pep.
You need a step. Josh loves these little idioms or whatever they're called. Step peps. You need a step pep. So we did it. We gave it to you. Just keep going. I feel like you're on the right track, doing the right thing. I'm happy for you. If anybody wants to know what episode that was from, it's called "My Stepbrother and I Are Exploring Feelings." So check out that video if you want a reference. Guys, we have finally revamped the BlimeyCow.com website. Go check it out. It's super easy to navigate with updated info about all the things that we're working on. Of course, our site has always been built with Squarespace, so picking a new template and updating everything only took a few hours once we finally sat down and said, it's time to do this. And we made some big updates as well. I mean, it's completely different. It didn't even take that long. Squarespace has flexible website templates no matter what kind of site you want to create, whether it's a blog, portfolio, web store, YouTube channel, or whatever else you want to display or promote. All the templates look great and you can customize them to do whatever you want. Squarespace makes everything so simple. You can create an online store selling physical, digital, or service products easily. Plus, you can create custom merch, print on demand even, Josh. They even handle shipping for you. It's crazy. So what do you want to build? I want you to listen to me right now, okay? You can do it with Squarespace. It's time to finally build that website you've been putting off. Head over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and then when you're ready to launch, go to our link, squarespace.com/cow, because there you're going to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/cow. Now, let's get back to the messages. Hi, Jordan and Josh. I was friends with my husband before we started dating. I knew he had a problem with porn. When he told me he wanted to date, I told him I wouldn't date anyone doing those things. He worked really hard and stopped, and I was really proud of him. We began dating and got married a year later. The kids have access to their parents' liquor Josh is the same.
Flip the page. You gotta flip the page. That was a different message.
We began dating and got married a year later. We have been married now for 3 years and have a newborn. Last week, he confessed that for the last month, he has been getting up in the middle of the night to view porn.
No.
Or doing it when he uses the bathroom. I asked him why, and he said he got really stressed when my grandpa died a month ago because that excuse doesn't work on me. That excuse does not work on me. Because we went to visit and say goodbye, and he wasn't in his element. Okay, I was really angry and hurt by this since it's not like it was his family that died, so I don't know. Oh, my grandpa. It wasn't even his grandfather, it was her grandpa.
Yeah, I mean, look, if it's...
All right.
When your grandparents die, sure. But when it's your in-law grandparent,
porn.
It doesn't make sense.
He's got to be in his element, though. I was really angry and hurt by this since it's not like it was his family that died. So she's like, I didn't watch porn after my grandfather died. I don't know what he's so stressed about. I also felt betrayed and humiliated, especially when he told me he never intended to watch porn. He only wanted to look at pretty girls. I feel so stupid for thinking this issue wouldn't come up again in our marriage since he struggled with this before. He feels terrible, but has also admitted it will probably be a rocky road getting back to not viewing it at all. He wants my help. My question is, how do I support him and help him feel loved by both me and God when I feel so betrayed and hurt? How do I trust him again? How do I not act in anger towards him, which will only make him feel hopeless instead of feeling like he has the ability to change? I love how everything is about him. Every question, and this is a flaw, okay? You're so kind and nice, okay? But that's a flaw. That legitimately is a lot of girls' downfall. Okay? Guys, not so much. Guys, they can make you believe that stuff is your fault when it's really their flaw in why they're doing what they're doing, and they want that sympathy because they know that women can give sympathy. So they're like, he's trying to think, your grandpa died, and it was so hard on me. I needed to be in my element, so I viewed porn. I mean, that's the stupidest thing I have ever heard in my life.
How many more grandparents do they have that are alive still? I mean, how many more times are they gonna have to go through this?
Yeah, think about this. If your grandma dies next, if she's still alive, this whole cycle's happening again. I don't want to think what happens if his dies. Where's he going next? Where's he going? He's going to one of those places in in Asia where they're like walk down and it's like called Red Lantern societies.
Oh, right.
Isn't that in
Red light districts?
Yes. That's everywhere. I don't even think that's just in Asia. This is like Wonderland to these people. And they all go there. They all dream of it.
So that's when his grandparent dies.
That's when his grandparent dies. It's the Red Lantern Society.
He would certainly be in his element.
Oh yes, he would never be in a better element. He will live there for the rest of his life.
Now this is more like.
So your question is, how do I support him and help him feel loved by both me and God when okay. You don't. You feel like you have to feel bad for him and it's helping him. It's doing something for him and it's not. It's actually hurting him. Don't feel bad for the guy. He made a choice. That was his choice. Don't feel bad for him. You should very rarely feel bad for people, okay? I'm gonna be honest with you, Josh. That really gets people into a hole. That really makes people make bad decisions and get manipulated and get in bad places because they think I'm doing God's work. I feel bad for this person. When you feel bad for somebody, and Josh is going on a whole tangent. It's probably not even true. But when you feel bad for somebody and you're like, oh, poor this person or whatever, that is you in some way putting yourself above them and saying, I have power over them to tell them that they are worse off than me. And it's this weird like power thing. I don't even think that people mean to do it. That's what this I feel bad for people does. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't feel bad for people, but when this is like a whole mindset and life thing, this is like you, and this is what I come across in a lot of messages. And oftentimes girls, they feel bad for people because empathetic, the empathy. Okay, empathy can really be a huge downfall. It truly can, especially in this modern era that we're in right now. It can be a huge downfall. So don't feel bad for the guy. He made a decision. He needs to learn, and he needs to. Feeling bad for him is not going to help him. It's not going to get him out of this. If anything, it's going to enable him because he's going to be like, wow, if I do bad things, then I get sympathy, and that's the excuse that I need because I'm trying. I'm trying to be a good Christian. Okay, don't try. Become. It's this brain shift, and people freak out when I say this, Josh, because they're like, you don't understand. My husband, blah blah blah, and I love him. I believe he's had a hard time. Okay, I get it. All right, but how many of them are still watching porn after you typed that 2 years ago? How many of them do you still think, you know what? He's not, but it's a possibility that he's maybe doing it in the shadows, and I don't know. That you would think maybe. That's called distrust, okay? People need this perception shift. I don't know how to give it to them. They need a paradigm shift. You need to give your husband a reality check. He needs a reality check quick, and it's not gonna be sympathy. It's not gonna be empathy. I'm not saying to be mean to the guy, obviously, but I'm saying be rational, give reasonable solutions, and I'm not gonna come up with those. You come up with those. But empathy... Ultimatums is what he needed. And sympathy and empathy is not what's gonna get it. Think if China was like, we're so sympathetic to the United States because of all the debt. Is that gonna help us? No, they're gonna say, hey, pay up now or whatever, and then that maybe would be when the United States is like, oh wow, we need to change. Like, we can't just keep getting in debt with all these guys. Like, we need to do something. This is serious. Oh, it's okay, guys, and then we get more and more and all this crazy stuff, and it's like we just keep going. So that's what you need to do. Give them the ultimatum. Put the hammer down, not nicely or meanly, just flatline. This is the solution, and if it doesn't happen, then we're gonna have big problems. That's not nice. That's not mean. That's truth. Truth is not nice or mean. It just exists. Okay, nice or mean, they're both bad. They both manipulate, nice and mean. You need truth.
That was an all-timer.
It was it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. When I answer these messages, I don't even remember what the first I'm so in tune with the question I just answered, I have forgotten everything past before that. I can't even remember the first question. I have to ask Josh, what was the first question? And he said it was the response, like the person gave you the response about their stepbrother. Oh, right. I'm already past that. I've forgotten. I cannot keep this information in my mind because there's been so many thousands of messages, but I do not collect every message that I see. It's too much for my brain. It can't do it because it's too much information. Don't be messy. And leave good messages.